Welcome back to another episode of The Real Teachers of Atlanta. I am Nikki.
I'm Joya.
And Ty will be with us later. However, today we want to have a conversation about, we want to continue the conversation that we have been having in the comments. We've seen you guys fighting for y'all lives in the comments and coming after us because some of y'all mean. Some of y'all are some real bullies, but whatever. Anyways, we figured we would take today as an opportunity to discuss some of your opinions that you maybe believe are facts. Let's discuss it.
Let's get into it.
So,
We got the queens in the house, y'all. We got the queens in the house, y'all.
one of the first videos that I wanted to bring up is the one where we talked about grading behavior. So this video we posted on Instagram and y'all went ham. But on Instagram, we said, hey, you're not supposed to grade behavior. You know, it's been a conversation about grading, the grading systems. And we say, okay, if a student doesn't turn in work, the conversation basically was that we have been told if a student doesn't turn the work in, you don't give them a 0 because the 0 simply represents them not turning in the work, the action, so their behavior. Right. Versus the 0 representing they have earned no score. They have no answers were correct. They turned it in. They do what they're supposed to do. So that was what the conversation was. And when I say,
what did they say in the comments?
Baby, they went straight to the left. So the first one said, in the same clip, Joya, you said, we're going to jump right into the nitty gritty. Okay. Somebody, I ain't even going to get no username, but you know who you are. Okay. Somebody said, piss poor teachers who are literally getting paid to do a job will open their mouths to say, I'm not working harder than a student. Then please leave our children alone and go work in an environment that aligns with your lack of work ethic and commitment. Shaking my damn head. To that, I responded, because I got your bet.
Well, okay.
So I said back to her, I said, is teaching not a job? Do you do more than your job asks you to do? That makes, do you do more than your job asks you to do? So I'm just trying to understand how this makes them piss poor. Or is it that you condone the lack of accountability students and apparently society has grown accustomed to? Help me understand why teachers should do all the heavy lifting and the kids do nothing. Please enlighten the comment section with your expertise. To which there has been no response. Right. Of course there's not. But I feel like, how does that, I don't think it makes you feel any type of way. Because
no,
I know you got thick skin. Like, you really not going to phase us.
No, because this person, whoever he or she is, I mean, they're not in the classroom. So they don't understand what it's like to constantly have to repeat yourself 100 times a day. Yes. When you shouldn't have to. Agreed. You should be able to give a direction. Now, if no one understands the content or if it's difficult, then of course that's what we're there for, to explain the content. But at a certain point, there has to be a home training. There needs to be some more home training with what's happening at the house. Yeah. And I think teachers are afraid to say that because we're supposed to just take constantly what the students are giving us, and we don't. You know, I think, and this isn't everybody, but parents have to understand that when they send their children to us, we're not only teaching the curriculum, we're also teaching them how to stand in a straight line, how to be quiet at appropriate times, how to treat your classmates. So you're spending so much time on what should be taught at home. Yes. You don't have enough time really to go over the curriculum sometimes, unless you're that type of teacher that's very like, you can't even breathe loud in the classroom. Yeah. But yeah, no, that doesn't bother me because, I mean, they're not in the classroom. I mean, what person would, if you've done everything that you can do, you sat with the kid every single day, you've given them the packet. Yeah. They just don't want to do the work. I referred you to the counselor. I've called the parent. Support. It's a 0. Yeah. So a lot of people, I would say that the comment sections for this video are kind of split 50-50, where some people are, and a lot of, I will say what I have found is there are some who kind of ride the fence. Where they understand, I understand that it is an action, but if I just, and for the most part, the consensus is, if I don't have the work, what do you want me to do? I just don't have it. And no work is a 0. And a lot of people have made, given the analogy of,
well, it's just like if you don't pay your power bill, your power gets cut off. They don't say, well, you meant to pay it, therefore it stays on.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like what we really get down to is the accountability conversation, which I feel like gets ignored when we have the conversation about grades, because we start talking about, oh, students didn't turn the work in, therefore it's an NTI or whatever you use in your system, it's not turned in, which translates to a 0. I think that what people hear is it's a 0. Well, you didn't turn it in. There is nothing to grade. It was due. It's passed. Like, no other place is that okay.
No, because the 0 is more than just not doing the assignment. It's the accountability. I'm teaching you that if you don't do what you're supposed to do at this particular timeline, there are consequences. Because what ends up happening is, okay, I didn't pay my phone bill. Okay, they should give me more time. Or I didn't pay the mortgage. They should no, you have to pay things, and you have to you have to turn in your work. It's a worksheet. Yeah. And if you didn't turn the worksheet in, and I have done everything that I am supposed to do, then it's a 0. So no, I am not working harder than the students. And I will continue to say that over, and I don't care what the comments say. that because they're not in the classroom. Now, if you want to take over my class, that's something different. Right. And if you want to show me something different, but it's a 0, and I'm moving on.
So I think that this comment was really good. There are 500 likes to this comment, and I think that I love it. So this person said, this conversation encapsulates why teachers are leaving. When the kids know they can do absolutely nothing and still get credit, they will go after any teacher that doesn't allow them to be mediocre. If you hold a kid accountable or write them up, you will find yourself in a principal's office instead of the child.
Wow.
And how true that is.
Yes.
How true that is. Like, there's...
Why is your hand being tapped for you doing what you're supposed to do? And I think if enough teachers continue to do that, then the backlash wouldn't be as grand as it is. There are too many teachers that are like, okay, I'll give the 50 because I don't want to have to deal with what the principal... No, if the principal asks why there is a 0, it's because the student didn't do their work. And then here is my documentation showing, because it's almost like I'm preparing a case to go into the courtroom. Yeah. Here are all the things that I did. Here are all the things the student didn't do. Now, a lot of times they will see your documentation and they will still pass the student. Yeah. So now you're dealing with a kid that can't read. They're in the 6th grade and they're reading on a 3rd grade level.
Yeah, see it all the time.
And then they want you to have great scores. And then they want you to, no. Yeah. You have to draw the line at some point. And I think teachers, they're drawing the line, but they're leaving the classroom. Like that's them drawing the line. That's so how true. Extreme it is.
Teachers draw the line by leaving. You're absolutely right.
They're leaving. They're like, I'm not doing this anymore. You deal with it.
Yep. So it's funny that you said that. So someone mentioned, same video, she said, and it's just 2 things. She said, another example of how No Child Left Behind failed.
Oh, right.
Okay. Absolutely. And then the next one, I think we can move on to another one, was she asked a question. How am I supposed to grade an assignment that I don't have? And I think, like, there's nothing, I wouldn't even say I think, there's really nothing to that. That is point in case, right? I have nothing. And to your point, building a case, I can show where I've provided support for the student to try to encourage them. But it goes back to, in my opinion, building that relationship or parents are the responsible adult in this kid's life have to show up and say, let's build this relationship or connect with this teacher so that I know what's going on. And then we tell you your kid didn't do the work. Stop looking at us like we're lying. Ask them where it's at.
But you know what? In life, you don't always get to do things because you like the person that you're doing it for. That's not reality. And so I really hate this idea that I have to bribe you to do your work. Like I have to be almost your friend to do your work. And that's insane, where they teach this thing, well, we have to build a relationship with all of your kids and then they're going to do their work. No. When I was going to school, it didn't matter if I liked the teacher. I mean, I liked all my teachers, but it didn't matter if you had a personal relation. And what is this personal relation? I didn't have personal relationships with my teachers. They were my teacher.
And there was a respect.
You know, and now if they were my coach, the relationship went further. But no, if you were my math teacher, there was a I want to say a hierarchy, but there was like almost like a respect there where I felt like I could talk to them, but it wasn't like I'm sitting at your desk eating lunch where I'm telling you my issues. Like, no, this is the work that I have. If I don't do it, there is a consequence. Yeah. And I feel like we're not giving students consequences for the work, for the behavior, for anything. And they're becoming adults that that have these unrealistic expectations about life.
Preach. Say it again. They are becoming what? Say it again.
Adults.
That don't believe in consequences.
Yeah.
I think that's the reality. There's no, and it's been mentioned several times in multiple comments, there's just no accountability. Nobody's being held accountable. Nobody wants to say anything to the kids. Then when we say anything, we're the ones that it's a problem with. Why didn't you? Okay, well... I mean,
and teachers talk too much. And what I mean by that, we explain too much. No, that's what I said. Yeah. If I said these are the rules and the standards in my classroom. Yeah. And if your kid cannot follow the rules and standards, then maybe they need to be moved. Yeah. Maybe they need to go to maybe another team. But I'm standing on the standards that I have set for my classroom. Teachers over-explain themselves. They have to validate what they're saying. They have to make people feel comfortable. And we have to stop doing that. Coddling. I said what I said. To anybody, administrators, principals, parents. This, matter of fact, I just had a conversation with a parent the other day, and it was about some testing stuff. And so I said, well, I don't curve the grades. Like, I don't do standard-based grading. Like, whatever grade that they have is what they're going to get. I may drop the lowest test grade at the end of the school year. And the parent was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But a lot of parents aren't like that. They will try to get you, well, can it test again? Can it? No, we're not testing again. This is, if you hypothetically made a 5 on the test, a 5 goes in the grade book. Now we need to figure out, okay, maybe we need to study a little bit more. Yeah. What part of the test did you not understand? So you can do better on the final. Yeah. And then we can try it again on unit 2. Yeah. But we're not doing this testing thing. And that's a part of that No Child Left Behind that is really breaking down the integrity of the educational school system. Children can't do simple multiplication problems. No. And math is all about building. Yep. You learn one skill, you take that skill, and then you put it with something else, and then you build. Yep. It's been a problem for a long time, and I think we all agree on that. And it's just, it is what it is. There's nothing we could do about correcting that. Well, not us per se. It has to be a community effort, and for us, it has not been. What was the other one I had? Now I can't find it. I don't see it no more. Do you remember what the comment was about?
It was about somebody talking about like how we were addressed on the show and saying, if y'all showed up in the class, if this is how you go to the classroom, no wonder the kids aren't doing well. But it was the show was about something else, but they were talking about how we were addressed in the show.
On our podcast?
Yeah, on the podcast. That's not at the classroom.
Okay. Well, then again, that's that stigma that teachers are supposed to look like, I don't know, Little House on the Prairie. And if you dress like that, that is fine. But it's the idea that you're supposed to, if you're a sophisticated type, which we are sophisticated, but if you're just a very conservative person, that you have to be buttoned up to here, and you have to wear these boots and these shoes, and you have to just look a certain way. I think that they expect teachers just to be a particular type of person, and then when they see something outside of that, then it's very disturbing to them.
But I feel like we've seen, I mean, I guess with that comment, I think the reason that so many people were, responding or liking it, well, people were liking it. People responded. A lot of people responded and were like, they're not at work. And I said the same thing, like, we're not at work. But people, to your point, people do think that teachers should look the same inside of school, outside of school. There's just this, I don't know, like we're put on this pedestal, and I feel like it's very unfair. And I think that, again, society as a whole has said, you have to appear this way or be this way in order to be a teacher. And these are the things that this is the box we're putting you in. Right. And then as soon as a teacher doesn't fit the mold, it's problematic. But I think that's even within the education system, because there's a lot of teachers who were like, I would never wear something like that. Okay. And I'm like, that's personal preference, but I'm only a teacher Monday through Friday from 8:30 from the start of my contract, 8:30 to 4:30. That's the only time I'm a teacher. Outside of that, I'm just a mom and a wife and a woman.
but they're kind of put up there with like clergy, or I think I'm saying it right, but like people in people of the cloth, you know, people that are in the church. So if you see a person who is a female that's a pastor, and then she dresses like that, which is not provocative at all, then that is a problem.
Yeah. I equate it to, do you remember when Obama wore the tan suit and like the internet broke? And they're like, it wasn't very presidential of him. Ooh. It's still, like he was dressed like it's a suit. Right. And people were like, it's tan though. And I'm like, is he limited in color? Are we limited? Why are we limiting our scope? You know? And so like when Kamala wore the tan suit, I was like, I like
the nod to that.
Like, I'm just letting y'all know I can wear what I want.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I feel like, if she was out here scantily dressed, we would have an issue. If he was out there trying to conduct presidential business in swim trunks, you know what I'm saying? It would be evident. Yeah. But I feel like the same thing goes for us. Like, if I'm going to brunch, I'm looking like I'm going to brunch. When I'm going to work, I'm going to look like I'm going to work. When I'm on my podcast,
you're going to look like how you're on your podcast. Right.
If you're jealous, just say that. I'm just saying.
I can't remember what the episode was. You had on a black blazer, and oh God, what did the lady say?
That's about more?
Yes, it was something like, oh gosh,
they were trying to cuff me.
Just like she said, will she wear that in the classroom?
Yes.
But then when I went back, I think the comment was, so I don't know if she deleted the comment or what.
Man, I want to see that. I want to see somebody say that. I didn't see that. Yeah. So I know there was conversations about we had a conversation about the metal detectors at the school. Okay. At the front door, and we were talking about it being like white and then black, and like the schools that have the metal detectors aren't the schools that need the metal detectors. Essentially, we were like, y'all put them in the wrong place.
Statistically speaking.
And so I thought that was pretty funny, and a lot of people did say that. And then someone mentioned, somebody said some outspoken, and air quotes, outspoken educators are outspoken when it's convenient and not when it's actually time to stand up for something. That's one of the comments.
Meaning what?
Like talking about like rebellious teachers. This was from that same episode.
Okay.
But that's what they said. That same episode. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And, but I like that comment. I think I would like to get your opinion on that. What do you think about that one? About some teachers, some of the outspoken air quotes.
Oh,
hi.
Well, hello.
Hi to the show.
Welcome to our show.
And this is
Ty. I mean, it's real talk. Real teachers, real Atlanta. So. Okay, so we're talking about the metal detectors.
Yes. No, this one's from the episode with the black. So we were talking about some of the comments on these videos.
Some of the most controversial comments.
Some of the ones y'all said. So we'll just start with this one. So someone put someone for the school, I don't know. So for the episode where for this video where we were talking about rebellious teachers, and someone commented and said, some, air quotes, outspoken educators are outspoken when it's convenient and not when it's actually time to stand up for something. And so I just want to get do you agree, disagree?
I disagree.
You disagree? And he said they put air quotes around outspoken, so I'm assuming they were saying.
I need an example. I don't really understand.
I don't know.
If a teacher is outspoken, that's just generally her personality.
Not when it's convenient.
But I'm saying that they're not. What they're saying is that they're not standing up for anything when it's time. Like when it's time to stand up for something, they're not there. They're only there to say something. So when it's time to say, no, we're not doing that.
Saying,
okay.
A teacher standing up and saying something when it's not important.
Or no, so we don't want to work this extra. We don't want to do this professional development. It's not worth our time.
Okay.
Then when it's time to actually stand on that and do something about it, they ain't got nothing to say and they gone. They're not. They're not backing up what they're talking.
Right.
They're not really. They're just lip service. That's what
right.
Why are you sleeping? You okay?
Yeah.
Not you come in with the crazy.
I like calling you.
No, I'm fine.
I don't know. That was some of the. Yeah, I'm a little
hungry.
I was trying to. We were just talking through about the. She didn't want that. We were just looking at some of the wilder, crazier or comments that we've had and just responding to them to different videos that we've had.
Okay.
So that was the discussion. So if you have some comments that stand out to you, you too can add to that discussion. I'm just saying. I know we've had several, and I know, this was one of them too that we had. We were talking about the episode about, some consequences and kids not getting consequences. Let me see, where was it? Someone said, this is why they said F them kids.
Wait, say what now?
This is what they said. They said, this is why I say F them kids. These kids.
We didn't say that.
That's what it said. No, we didn't say that.
Oh.
They put in here, this is why I say.
Who said F them kids?
This is what the comment says. This is why I say F these kids. They don't care about their futures. We as educators are limited to our impact on these children. The foundation does start at home with the parents, but you have to understand that even the best parents have children that make their own decisions, and sometimes those decisions are not what the parent has set the foundation upon. It is up to the individual student to say, I want it to be extraordinary and not ordinary.
I ain't got no comment to that. That was a little lengthy, so I can't even remember everything they said.
They just said sometimes it ain't the parents. They said sometimes it's not the parents.
Oh, it's the kid.
Sometimes said the kid just don't want to be disciplined.
Yeah, sometimes y'all children come to school acting a fool.
But if they did, we tend to
they
say
acting a fool at home. Most time they acting a fool at school. I'm sorry. No.
So you think it is? You think that parents need to run a tighter ship? Parents need to run a tighter
somebody
ship.
Would
they
call
know
my
them
mother
children acting a fool at home.
at work.
But that's what the comments said. They're not. They said it's not all kids are bad at home. They only act a fool at school.
Well, that means you're not afraid of the consequence at home. I wish you would call my mother or father
right
at their job. And, girl, please.
But
Don't
they said
they
it's not
bother
a
them on their
parent.
good job?
My mama used to say that. You had
I know I'm gonna be missing teeth. That's what I would know.
Yeah.
Like, and my parents were never violent toward me, but there was a standard. Like
you already know
you don't misbehave at school. Why is somebody calling my house?
Has a teacher ever called your house?
Never. Ever. Are you kidding me?
Well,
I gotta be here today to tell about it, huh?
I know I wouldn't have been.
Me neither.
And my parents, again, they not violent at all.
Well, I guess I contradicted myself then. Because I was cutting up at school.
Okay.
What?
So this is a perfect example. Okay.
But I knew I had consequences when I got home. But I guess for me, I didn't have anybody at home. I was an only child. So when I got to school, it was star light, star bright.
When you
Tell
say
me what you see
up,
tonight.
You were chatty at school.
Yeah, I was chatty. I got most talkative in high school. I still to this day, I just feel like they wanted to give me something because I don't feel like I was the most talkative in school. But, they wanted to give me something. However, I crack you down now.
So you was tussling?
I wasn't tussling. No, like me and my good friend, we was those ones I told y'all. Like we, they call it Jones and now, or we call it cracking back in the day, baby.
Y'all in the class doing?
Oh,
Disrupting in the class.
While the teacher was. This is when y'all were a small group.
The teachers loved us. Don't get me the teachers absolutely loved us.
I'm trying to see.
But, that's what I'm saying. Like, the teachers absolutely loved us. But there was those pivotal moments, that we would crack on you,
Well, it was different back,
I feel like I need to see the difference. I feel like there's a difference between...
I guess it wasn't anyone at home. I was cracking on, I was at school. I did my work. I did what I was supposed to do. I wasn't going to the school and talking back to the teacher or fighting. Now, those things did not, I knew better to do those things. But when it comes to joking on other kids,
you were a typical high school student.
I was that girl.
I feel like that's...
Yeah, okay. Right.
Yeah, but get into fights or...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No type of drama like that because I knew.
So you had a line. You were like, I'll go all the way up until...
Cause see, I had an active mother when it came to school.
Okay.
So she was gonna show up.
So we still are all agreeing that it's still the parents.
Talk.
I'm talking. Okay, I can
talk
do
it
too.
Yeah.
But
I feel like every teacher I've ever met got taught too much on their report card at some point.
But just like Joy said, they're like, if there's no standard at the house, there won't be a standard at school.
Right. Just free for all.
Period.
Yeah, I agree. So such and such will be in touch. We'll let you know that you're wrong. I won't air your dirty laundry on the show.
Ooh.
I'm just saying, they was really these people. Oh, and then the people they was calling us dumb because we didn't know how many. Yeah, they said that we listen. Okay. Listen, we have been told a lot of times.
Those comments a lot, like, are those real teachers? Yes, we are real teachers. However, when like there was a comment on the Rose clip about grading for behavior. The woman said, "Are these real teachers?" Hey, so we don't implement. What do you call it?
We don't set the rules.
Yeah, we don't set the rules for what is to, how to grade.
Yeah. I think, you know what I think? Now that you said that, I think people think we do.
No. Now, to go back on that clip, now for me, I put the 0 in.
Yeah.
I go and put the 0 in because I need your people at the house to understand that you didn't do no work. Of course, they know you ain't did no work. Your grade is on the floor. They ain't did no work. Wow. Then it's a 0. It's simple as that. But I know that where Rose was at a school, that school system that I don't know the school you met me at because I was putting zeros in the school you met me at.
I was putting in
but she said that they grade based on behavior. Now
at the school where I met you at.
Yeah. So it's not that we were grading on behavior. They were saying that putting in a 0 when a student does not turn in work. This is what I was told. Student don't turn in work and you give them a 0. I won't say give them. When you put in a 0, that 0 only represents their behavior. That's not
the grade.
That's not. It's going in the grade book because that's what I got for the assignment.
But I got nothing, you get nothing.
Yeah, that's what most people are saying. But I'm saying that's what they had told me I should do. That's what I'm saying.
You got to have something.
And then one commenter was like, "Oh, y'all trying to fail? I ain't trying to fail nobody. How can I fail you?
Who said? Wait.
It was a commenter. If you go on there and they look and they said something about I can't remember verbatim, but it was like, how can you grade something they don't turn in? That's correct.
That's the point.
Well, they're not teachers, so
now I'm gonna say this. Sometimes people will walk right into the point and still miss it. That is exactly what we've been saying. I don't have it. It's a 0. What do you want us to do?
Meaning that they don't know what the potential is that the child has because they didn't. It's like, how do you know that they have a 0 if they didn't turn in the work? How do you know they can't do the work if they didn't turn it in? It's still a 0. I don't care how you flip it.
Is it this comment? Giving a kid a 0 makes it almost impossible to pass the class, especially if the 0 is given on an assignment that's worth a higher percentage of the overall grade. Do you know how many A's it takes to bring a 0?
That's not my problem.
Hold on, she didn't even did. She done broke down. Let me tell you something. This lady here had too much time. You need something else to do, ma'am. Do you know how many A's it takes to bring a 0 F to a passing C?
Yes.
Question mark. Giving a kid a 45 to a 60 is still an F, but at least it gives them the chance to put their grades up once they realize what they have done. They knew they ain't turned that work in.
When I was in school, 8th grade, I was a cheerleader.
Girl.
Now, going back to what you were saying, I didn't have any issues with discipline, but I talked a lot because I'm the only child. So that was my only socializing time. I did nothing the first 6 weeks. Nothing. I don't know how I managed to get a 70 in language arts.
You say you do that?
I didn't do nothing.
The first,
to be honest, I was living my whole life. I had that little cheerleading outfit on. I could do whatever I want. I'm not doing this work.
Not the outfit.
No, I had the outfit on, but I was always really respectful. Okay,
so they just liked it at you,
right? But I got a 70, so I was doing something.
Just enough.
I got a 70 in language arts and a 73 in science.
You don't forget this,
right?
This hurt
because what I did was I tried to change my grade. So you remember when we used to get the
progress report,
but it was like that yellow and pink.
Mm-hmm.
So when I tried to curve that 3 into an 8, you could see that I tried to change my grade. So my mom found out, obviously. So she went up to the schools, this whole thing. I was off the cheerleading squad. But yeah, it was terrible. My coach was coming up the stairs.
But your mama stood on business.
She's coming down the stairs. She said, she said, Joya, she's off the squad. I was like, just like that. It was no conversation.
Over just trying to change?
Over a progress report. Damn. I ended up getting my grade back up and I got back on the team. But what I'm trying to say is my grade was actually quite high compared to everybody else's. It was the gifted team. So there was a bunch of athletes and cheerleaders on that one team. But a lot of them had like 60s, 40s, 20s. Like we talked the first 6 weeks of school because they put us all on this, like we were all friends. So they put us all on the same team. Do you know people spent the entire year bringing that grade up? Yeah. So if you got a 20, the first 6, you spent the whole year getting, so my point is that you have to work to, if you make choices, you have to work to get that grade up the whole year. Yeah. To get to from a 20 to an 80 took the entire year.
These kids.
They don't know how to work.
No, I think this is
because they know they're gonna get that 50.
That's not right.
Problem. This is the problem I have. A kid that does their work and earns a 50. Right. Okay? And it's bump what the letter is. I earn a 50. Earn. Versus the kid who is given a 50 on you just showed up. We're so glad to see you.
That's crazy.
You didn't earn anything. And so the piece that drives me nuts is the given. You gave. You did. There is still no onus on the student to turn the work in, to do what they're supposed to do. And the parents don't want no accountability. And now we got the teachers doing the same thing. Talk about, it's a 0. Ma'am, you the problem. I said it.
I was told at a school that you take that district test and you fill those zeros in. Whatever they made on that district test, by the way, they curve.
Yeah, they do.
Death. A 12 will be a 65.
Girl, it ain't that high. Stop it.
It feel like it.
You go back. Go back and fill those zeros in.
Because they
with
say
that curve test.
It's
the curve score.
Well, I don't know if it's for every county, but since you said it, I'll elaborate.
Okay.
Parents, there is a test that the kids take, the DAs.
Yep.
And then there is the raw score, and then they curve it because they think your kids are stupid. Because that's what it is. They automatically assume your kid needs help before they even take the test.
They already know.
How you curve the district test?
It's a midterm. How you curving a midterm?
That's what they're doing. Now, that's just in one particular county that I'm aware of. I don't know if that's every county. They're
doing it.
That's what they're doing.
This is the thing. Why the test so hard that your kids can't pass? Why? That's one question. Also, why kids can't pass?
Maybe that's why they have the curve. Maybe that's why they have the curve grade.
But if you're testing,
are they still doing that? So maybe. Well, I can't say it was because of COVID because it lasted after COVID.
They was doing it before COVID.
Oh, okay.
They just blame COVID for everything.
That's another thing. Everybody want to blame COVID for everything.
COVID just highlighted
COVID. It's like COVID been here for 25 years. These folks just not acting like they.
Kids have always had issues with reading.
But I don't know. This comment here, it reads you just handing out. I'm not handing out no grades. I think that's the grade. It upsets me. This is why. Well, you have, and we've seen it, when you have students who really put in effort and they still don't do well, and you could see what they need, and then you have kids who are just staying home. They only come to school 2 days out the month. They need to be a truancy case, basically, and they still get the same thing. They show up at the end of the semester.
And the special education students getting zeros. Just imagine what I do when I come to the general education.
That's what I'm saying.
If you ain't turned no work in,
you get no grade. My issue, and that's it. Settle. That's all.
My kids already know.
Yeah. I just
no. You show up. No, you don't. When you go to work, no show, no pay.
That's it.
You come to the class, no work, no grade.
No praise.
It's simple. If I done set up all night or whatever.
Great.
You know, because you can't really say, because sometimes you don't really have no planning time because you got to, you know, email the parent back that can't wait. That just sent you an email, or they pulling you in somebody else's class, or they are pulling you for a meeting. It's just different factors that you might not have time to write a lesson plan, or when you get the break that you deserve, you actually taking a rest. Anyway,
working on
back to the point.
Isn't that crazy?
They
don't even do that at McDonald's.
I'm sitting up here and putting these elaborate lesson plans together, and you ain't deciding you gonna not turn in work.
10 questions, can't even turn in.
And then we giving you like 8 out of 10. We done gave you the work answers in some form or fashion. Like, oh my God, like it's.
The answers on the board.
Yep. Did I tell you about that time I did that? I gave the kids an assignment and I had written the answers to the assignment on the board and I still had kids failing the assignment.
I fail open book tests.
With the quickness.
All right.
All right.
Anyway.
It's another episode of The Real Teachers of Atlanta. I hope that you enjoyed. To me, I am not concerned about what happens in the comments. Now, my other water sign friends, they don't eat you up.
I have really been good this season.
Oh, I have not.
I've really been good this season.
9 times out of 10.
I've been letting y'all slide.
It's me. I'll own it. And sorry. I'm not apologizing for it.
All right. Taisha, where can we find you?
You can find me.
You want to pick one?
Huh?
You just weren't sure. Where they gonna find
Well, I was about to say something real sassy, but since you broke that up, you can find me at Ty P. Smith on IG.
I'm Nikki. You can find me at @IAM_Nikki D on IG and wherever else you find me.
I'm Joy. You can find me at Joy Carter at Instagram.com.
Okay. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We love to see you in the comments. Unless you got something mean to say, you keep it to yourself.
Put it in the comments, guys.
Oh, well, yeah, you can tell us in the comments. I'll let you know how I feel about it.
Yes, she will.
Bye.
Bye.